President Bola Tinubu has ordered the withdrawal of police officers attached to very important persons, VIPs, across the country, directing that they be redeployed to core policing duties across communities in Nigeria to improve the nation's security situation. VIPs requiring protection will now be assigned armed operatives from the Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps instead of the police. The president also approved the recruitment of 30,000 additional police personnel, as well as directive to upgrade police training facilities nationwide. How will these directives by the president improve police presence and security across the country and the impacts on securing Nigerians? These, among other things, will be our focus on Nigeria today. Thanks for joining us. I am your carrier, Clinton.
Business and critical infrastructures are actually doing private, that's what I call it, protection, in the sense that, but that raises another eyebrow in the sense that even the president, the commander-in-chief himself, somehow is also guilty of the same, because he's also a very important person, the number one. Okay, yes, and we ordinarily, like, if you go out there to ask the average Nigerian, they expect most of his protection to come from the DSS, the military, and some specialized personnel from the Nigerian police. But if maybe you are here in Abuja or X, where you see, okay, you notice there is a movement of the president himself, the police that lines up, and everywhere you begin to wonder who are those that will secure people in the societies or care in the terms of emergency. Personally, I had expected for him to say that, oh, he's also downsizing the number of police covering his area and those attached to him, because not just the same way the president has his family members, close aides, and what have you, they're also guilty of this. If maybe he's downsizing by, say, 10%, 20%, then he has given the IGP the marching order to go after, because in the VIP, you know, that's a very compound word when you say a VIP, because you are talking of politically exposed person, you are talking of those in the business world, you are talking of those in the organized private sector, then you are talking of those in the so-called expatriates, because we see that they're even the one who abuse the police personnel more. You see these guys from Asia, not to name a particular country, you see them everywhere, even those in their own country that they don't even merit having maybe a private guard following them. You see them because of the money they have, these private ends. And when you scrutinize it deeply, you see that the guys in the police service that has the skills, one of the best trainings within and outside the nation, they are the one providing this VIP protection. Instead of us to feel their impact in the society, they are there doing close protection guard or bodyguard and what have you. It's a welcome development, provided the IG will be strict in implementing the order.
Yeah, provided the IG will be strict with the implementation, because anyway, presently, having talked about the withdrawal of police personnel from VIPs, how would you describe the presence of the police personnel in our communities as against the emerging security challenges we have in our country today?
They've always been there, because apart from division, so it's either it depends on the size of the community. In some you have a full division, then in a clusters of division you have the area command. Then if a community is small, in some you have an outpost, some you have a station. Then if you check within both these, but even in private estate, some you see a caravan, just a little small container, just to sign presence of police. Okay, but the issue is that over time, due to exposure to money, if we are to take it from that direction, and there seems not to be dignity in that job, due to maybe poor wages and what have you, they now prefer, every majority of the officers want to sign into the, what they call the VIP protection. under SPU, Special Protection Unit. That's what the police call it. So what this means is that that unit, maybe the IGP will consider to scrap that unit. Then in the society, when you integrate back, you see these guys coming from VIP protection, they need to be debriefed again and reintegrated back into the society. Then within the communities, do you have barracks for them, or you have quarters? You can go in small areas, they should have police quarters where they do, and then you give them farm, try to integrate them to the with the communities. But again, you remember that that will not trigger another reorientation and integrating police, because in certain areas, police means something else to the people. There is a section of the country where they even prefer they stay far away than coming close. But we've seen in the past where people don't have confidence in divulging security information to the same place and what have you. Then deploying them in this community, the nature, the terrain of those areas would demand the kind of logistics that the same government needs to provide. Not that maybe you equip them today with Helios vehicles, motorcycles, and what have you, and there is no money to fuel it. You've not done the work.
From your first remark, you made there's a comment you made. You said this is not the first time such directive has been given. Okay, and but the implementation becomes the issue. Why do you think the implementation has been the issue over time? Okay,
well, in the past, the order has always come from the IGP himself. But this very one is order from the commander-in-chief. But I think between 2016, 2017, a similar order occurred. And we see a situation whereby it was targeted at opposition at the political level. Most of those withdrawals were done from the opposition, the way they play their politics. So we wouldn't want, like, I've received series of calls today. Some Nigerians are panicking. Hope this is not a direct affront to opposition political parties, that maybe they are politically exposed person.
Must everything be about the opposition?
That's the way they look at things now. But
we have security challenges.
But it shouldn't be security is security. But you need to debunk that for them to know that is the directive. It's not directed at anybody. So that was, if you follow up in my earlier remark, I said VIP is a compound word, because away from the politically exposed persons, we have the business world, the expatriate, and whatever. All of them come together that makes use of this service. So in the first place, it's actually the police that erred or drifted away from their core mandate, because police has no business providing private guards to anybody except to those maybe allocated or assigned by the Constitution. Which is more of the president, then the 30 state governors, the judges, and every other person. If ideally they are doing their work, there won't be any need, because the police is for all. But now that we also have another security unit, which is the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, by their name, they shouldn't also be, for me, the president should even allocate it to them. It should even be their job. They're also to protect, but rather the private security companies that are licensed and supervised by this same Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps should be the one to provide such service to individuals or corporate organizations that need them. That's the way it's done in other African countries, like South Africa.
Apart from,
because you don't use taxpayers' money to provide special protection for certain individuals.
Yes, I was about coming to that. In the developed world, you see, it's just the president, maybe the vice president or so that has, security guards. But other political, players, they move around like normal. Is there no way we can build our security in architecture to that level where people will just be confident, in walking without a security guard, like the VIPs we're talking about here?
It's very possible if only these political office holders can live up to their mandate. the mandate in terms of, okay, providing basic social infrastructures. All their campaign promise, they make sure that we have security for all. So if you have security for all and there is minimal, not to say corruption, that you don't look at anybody as taking what belongs to you or what belongs to everybody, goes freely. Like I would say, if during a campaign, this same political elite can easily come venture troop into public schools and other public areas, dine with the people, dance, socialize. How come the moment you are now elected that we should also have access to the same office in certain days that will not hinder the free flow of your administrative duties? It becomes a problem. So it's because of maybe somehow they feel that, oh, there are certain, because they also have conscience that they need to do, but due to the political environment or economic issues, they were unable to fulfill certain obligations. So they rather stay away and integrate protection. Again, in some scenarios, like I've encountered in some of them, they would want to also live life in that simple manner, but these same security actors will remind them that no, you are not a politically exposed person, you occupy this office. There is need to enhance your protection.
So people will not get to you,
so
they will not kill you
get
for
to
what?
easily, or you not risk being attacked or anything, you know what.
So all of a sudden they want to attack you now.
Yeah, sure. And you see, and the moments most of these people leave the same office, over time, this same protection begin to downsize and they still work normal like no other person. So why have it in the first place? And those who cannot come down from that high horse, they pay heavily to try to sustain it, which is not good for them, for all, and everybody.
Now, the president also gave a directive of the recruitment of 30,000 police personnel. How significant is this?
Yeah, if we are going by the UN or that list, one policeman to about 400 persons or citizens, we've not met that margin. But my worry is recruiting 30,000 and other these persons, the process of the recruitment, personally, I have a problem with it in terms of profiling these individuals. I've encountered a good percentage of people who found themselves into any of the security units or forces, not peculiar to the police. They never had the passion for the job. It just circumstances led them to, oh, there is no job, this is just the only thing available, and you see them. Some, even in some which they've recently, I think that was a case we saw on social media, some are even in the security units agencies and they are practicing cultism because that passion is not there. Okay,
I'll have to stop it here. Dr. Uzoma, we'll take a short break now. This conversation will continue shortly. Don't go away.
The implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow under digital economy for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
What will make this one different? We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that are questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that we are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
Welcome to Nigeria Today.
The implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow under digital economy for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
What will make this one different? We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that are questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that we are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
Welcome to Nigeria Today. Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and we are talking about police presence in communities. And we are now being joined by Lawrence Alobi. He's a retired Commissioner of Police, FCT. It's a pleasure to have you in Nigeria Today.
Thank you for having me, and good evening.
And we still have Dr. Kingsley Uzoma, a security expert, here with us. So we've been talking about, the police presence in communities, and against the backdrop of the directive given by the president to withdraw police personnel from the VIPs. First, we want to get your what you think about this directive.
Yeah, for me, whatever directive we're giving, it is meant to solve a problem. And we need to look at the implication of this directive. First, is it that police are ineffective? It's a question that needs to be asked. Two, the policing, it said the police should not be engaged in policing. Under Section 4 of the Police Act, police that doesn't protect life and property is all an act of policing. Internal law and order is an act of policing. Preventing crime, detect crime is an act of policing. So all this has assumed in the Police Act, Section 4 of the Police Act. And the question is, does this solve the problem of this insecurity in this country? I say no. As a security, I'm a social sociologist, I'm in Nigerian society. The problem is that the police itself, which is the type of internal security, not given the wherewithal, what they need in terms of capacity, in terms of equipment. For instance, now, some police divisions don't have patrol vehicles at all. They don't have means of communication, and then even motivation and so forth. Now, even the civil defense, which I know, they're engaged in agro rangers, they're engaged in infrastructures, they're engaged in critical asset, and even mining and so forth. So, do they also have the capacity to meet this and meet all these other functions they are supposed to perform? That's a question. So I think, for me, it's not Mr. President directive, but I think Mr. President could have advised the implication. The police now, how would now they've not even defined the categories of VIPs. When I was CP Federal Operations, when General Gozo was the NSA, General Mohammed was Chief of Staff to the President, we started to identify those who are qualified, who are qualified to be given police orderlies or police security. Now this one is an open statement, VIPs. So I think there's some little problem there, and it says immediate effect. Now, how will civil defense get to take over and police handing over and so forth? How will it be seamlessly done and so forth? So I think what they could have done is to have, they could have just made sure that the police have different units. They have VIP protection. What we could have done now is that make that section increase the manpower of the policing. The manpower of policing to the personnel is greatly depleted, understaffed.
Okay, sorry to cut you there. You're also given the directive of recruiting 30,000
even it's inadequate.
Personnel.
You see, today we have not more than 500 police officers who are serving. We're not talking about wastages, about retirement, about those who have lost their life in the course of action. We're not talking about that. The UN said 400 to 1 policeman. We are talking about when Nigeria is about 220 million. So what would that 30,000 do? I think the Mr. President should give a directive that every month we should at least recruit 20,000 policemen for the next 5 years. Because police visibility is also very important because it's also a preventive strategy. When you see the police actually in the community, and they show that the police are there to protect life and property, maintain law and order. Because even this in the Constitution 14 of the National Constitution provides that prime purpose of government is security away for the citizens. Every Nigerian citizen, whether big or low, entitled to police, is entitled to security. And the police function is to protect life and property. So I don't know how you can now say police should not be doing that function. These are the three functions of the police. Right. So I think they should when I think maybe they can just ask, okay, IG, we intend to do this. This is for me. I say it is a panic measure we have taken. At least, okay, we want to do this. We need to start thinking. This issue of withdrawing security from VIP have been occurring many times. If they wanted, you can just set up a committee to look at this. How can it be done seamlessly without any problem?
Okay, talking about you just said as far as you can say, it will not solve the problem.
It does solve the problem.
And again, you said it's part of the duty of the police. But you agree with me that in other clans, like in the developed world, where we have politicians, other dignitaries or VIPs, so you call them, a lot of them don't move around with policemen.
You see, we have values we cherished. We have already imbibed this culture of police moving with us, moving VIPs.
So can't we stop it?
It takes some time because cultures, habits are not easily changed. It becomes drastic, and there could be a consequence too. So I think habits, it's like habits which we have learned. It's not common in other climate. I agree with you, but it's every environment has its own values and how they do things. It doesn't mean that because we must copy everything or that we can also introduce our own system which others can also copy.
But the truth is that some of these VIPs move around with this cop just to show that, okay, I have arrived. I didn't do that.
I agree with you. It's been abused.
Yeah, it's been abused.
It's been abused. I agree with you because they see it as a status symbol. I was not supposed to be so. And then they should also define who is entitled to police security. Or because right now you see even those who are not supposed to is like cash and carry. Anybody as young men, these businessmen, and so you're not supposed to be so. And if they now make it in such that in a very organized way, very organized, well systematic way, I think the number of policemen attached will not be as much as it's been speculated.
Thank you very much. Now, Dr. Uzoma, just in 20 seconds, as much as we say the police personnel that we have, they are not enough, and we're saying 30,000 still will not be inadequate. So how then can we, leverage technology? Because technology, of course, plays a major role in security here. So how can we leverage technology to improve our security?
Yes, technology is very important to complement human effort, but you also play emphasis on demand behind the technology and where you import this technology, especially if you are not the one fabricating them, is very, very important, because sometimes we also expose ourselves by using these technological equipment that are not debugged, that also serves as an avenue for some of these foreign nations, the manufacturers, to also spy us and have some security intel that is not supposed to be so. So we need to also train our personnel in the police and elsewhere to have the robust knowledge to know how to safeguard us in terms of the use of technology.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kingsley Uzoma, security expert. Thank you so much for coming on the program, and also Lawrence Alobi, retired Commissioner of Police, FCT. Thank you so much for coming on the program. And thank you for being part of Nigeria Today. Thanks for watching. I am your carrier, Clinton. Goodbye.